me as a Chicano boy in a really poor Chicano family.
A common misconception about sex trafficking is that it only happens to women and girls.
I was the only child out of 4,000 that was living in a $3.50 motel for 4.5 years, at a truck stop filled with prostitutes and truckers.
Most victims are under the age of 17. 10% of reported cases in Louisiana identified as male in 2022, sharing similar experiences as Antonio Salazar Hobson.
It's a very, very difficult life. I was kept in isolation. I was a dark child with these white pedophiles.
Antonio was kidnapped in the 1960s at 4 years old.
I had already been raped by them before they kidnapped me.
His abductors were not strangers, but his neighbors. He says they groomed his family for months. His parents were comfortable with him spending time at their house.
They lived 100 feet from my home, and they just simply came around the backyard, as it were, with their car, threw me in, saying, "We're getting ice cream."
Taken out to California, where he was sexually abused and trafficked at a guest ranch. As he grew up, he was allowed to go to school, but Antonio was scared to tell anyone anything.
What I was told is that what most abused children are told: no one will ever believe you. You are no one. And if you tell anyone, we will go to jail that night. And what does that mean for you, Antonio? That means that you'll never be found by your family. You will be institutionalized.
At age 16, Antonio graduated high school and gained his freedom. His predators dropped him off on the interstate, but a guardian angel helped get him through college and law school. He found his parents when he was 28.
I've been with them every day for the last 42 years.
He found out his parents tried going to authorities when he was kidnapped, but Antonio says they were ignored because of the color of their skin. So now the 68-year-old is an advocate for missing and abused children of color who are missing at disproportionately higher rates.
Had I been a white child, obviously there would have been the rallies, the newspapers, the national press, the regional press, vigils. None of that existed for me.
The Emmy Award-winning author shares his story in his book, Antonio, We Know You, giving parents some of the warning signs of an abused child.
And I was in a state of silence. I was mute. I lost weight. If you see even the slightest signs of physical abuse, if you see a relative, a neighbor, actual parent who all of a sudden their tone towards their child changes, if they're being given gifts, which obviously are inappropriate from an adult to a child.
Antonio predators died and were never arrested. He tells other trafficking survivors they are not alone.
Have some faith that you will emerge from this, and that as a young person, you will be able to love, that this does not define you as a person. You can move out of this.
For Family Focus, I'm Reggie Marion.